안녕하세요 여러분, 내 이름은 티파니예요. 그리고 나입니다. So, anyone who's ever had a love of fountain pens knows that the hobby can be rather expensive. I, for one, don't mind investing in a higher price fountain pen as I write all day for many reasons, and I'm a prolific journaler, and all of my journals are done by hand, so the perfect pen really does help my inspiration. However, the tool I choose must have certain qualities that I can be comfortable with or just enjoy. Most fountain pens are not designed to be operated with the cap on, which is a big point of contention for me. It's troublesome because it throws the weight off if you try to use the cap on the pen, then it makes it an unbalanced writing tool. So imagine my joy when I realized that there were several brands making retractable fountain pens. It was a strange concept, but after some research, I was convinced that I needed to buy one. So, after a bit more research, I found two brands which I already trust, and they had both produced retractable fountain pens. However, the price point was a little staggering, with the Pilot Vanishing Point priced at $156 and the Lamy Dialogue 3 coming in at $320. Now, both of these companies are experts in their field, so I understand the pricing, but it was a little too much for me to invest in a writing tool of which I was uncertain of the mechanism and how I would enjoy it. Feeling a little discouraged, I came across one more brand, the Platinum Curidas. Now, this price point is a little more doable at $90, and I was able to invest with a little less worry. And after only one day of use, I know that I will be investing further into the future into one of the aforementioned brands. So, let's talk about it. This is the Platinum Curidas retractable pen in burgundy. Let's take a look. It comes in this paper packaging, and it just has the Japanese symbols for recycling and things of that nature. It has some stocking stickers on it. Stocking as in stocking groceries, not stocking as in Christmas. It has the name of the company, the name of the pen, and a silhouette of the pen. Take this off and you get a nice little gift box which says Platinum. It is embossed and Japan 1919. Inside we have the pen, which is a lovely bright burgundy color. It says Platinum and Japan 1919 on the inside of the lid. It's sitting on this velvet pillow, which has a pretty tight strap on there, so you can comfortably fit the pen there. It doesn't move very much at all. Take it out with this little tab, and inside you're going to find the converter. This is for when you want to use bottle ink. You can actually fill this converter with the bottle ink. You will also find this cleaning kit that they have to clean the mechanism. It even came with some solvent in order to clean it, and they graciously gave me some Q-tips. They're very thorough. And also the manual for the pen, which I do suggest using the manual for this pen because it is a little complicated. It also came with this tool to remove the clip if you want to remove the clip, and I'll talk about later why you might want to remove the clip. Now inside I did place these 2 extra bags of cartridges that I bought to go along with the pen, and that is what we have right now. I do file away any cleaning products or any maintenance products and the instructions in a safe place so that I always have them. So let's talk about the pen in general. So we take it out, and this is the pen. This is the depressor point. This is what we're going to look at. So this is the clip that you're able to take off with the little tool, and the reason that you might want to take this off because this is actually the end where the nib comes out, and when you put it up, it sits nib up, so the point of the pen has to sit up so that the ink doesn't flow down and clog the nib. So you actually have to clip these upside down, and that's completely opposite from a normal gel pen or a roller ball or a ballpoint pen. So that is why the clip might get in the way of some people. It has not bothered me thus far, and I don't think it will. It won't really matter if you take it off anyway, because just like on this side where there is a little ridge here, there's actually a ridge that this clip sits in right underneath there, and it is raised. So you're still going to have a raised portion of the pen near your writing fingers. So it's really up to you how you want to do it, but it's not a bad clip. It's not in the way that bad, and honestly it adds a little bit more girth to the barrel, which makes it good for me because I have large hands. So let's put this away and talk more about the pen. So the name of the pen, Curidas, is it's inspired by a combination of the English word curiosity and the Japanese word kuridasu, which means to extend. So that makes a lot of sense. The body is resin, but it has a really, really good weight to it, and I believe that has a lot to do with the mechanisms inside the pen. Pardon me. There are two cartridges that come with it. One is a proprietary and the other is a converter. I've already showed you the converter, and the proprietary one is already installed, and that's a pre-filled ink cartridge. The nib is steel, but you cannot replace it. And the weight of this pen empty, which means with no ink in it, is about 24 grams or 0.85 ounces. So it sounds really light, but in the hand it feels really hefty and really nice, and that is good for me because I like a heavy pen when I'm writing. So this is how the mechanism works. You'll see that this is a lot longer than a normal depressor on a pen. A normal plunger usually isn't that long. If I'm honest, we can have from my AirFit, we can just see the difference. It's a lot longer, but there's a reason for that. So all you do is depress the depressor and the nib comes out, and it's a wonderful nib. I do like extra fine points, but more than that, I like extra fine points that are made in Japan because they're a little bit finer than the Western nibs that you find in other pens or even the European nibs. So the ones that come from Japan are a little bit finer, and they put out a little less ink in a more controlled fashion. So, I mean, I can press hard with this and put out a lot of ink, but if I'm writing with it lightly, it doesn't put out a lot of ink at all, and I like that. And it's not a fault of the pen, it's just the way I write with it. So if we take this pen apart, it's a little more complicated than any fountain pen I've ever seen. But to be fair, I haven't really gotten that far into my fountain pen hobby. I'm mainly a multi-pen hobby or a customizable pen hobby. But this is the most complicated one I've ever seen. It does have multiple functions inside, and we'll go ahead and look at that. Let me zoom in some so you can see what I'm talking about. So we're just going to take a look at the functions inside, and you do unscrew it right at that middle part, and it comes away, and I leave it on the side like that. And then you have this part here, which you press down and you have to turn it and then bring it back up to release it. And then you have this. Now also when you want to install the ink, you have to do the same thing here. Actually, don't take this one out. I'm sorry. I am mistaken. And then you don't want to lose this spring because then your pen won't work any longer. And then you just put it right back to where it was. And there you go. It's back together. Screw this back in and you will have everything you need to operate the pen. And that is all.